It's very powerful to be specific and detailed in your appreciations. For instance, if you say to somebody, "I appreciate you a lot," I think that's a good start in appreciation. However, it's different if you say, "I appreciate the way you look at me when I'm talking to you." When you get more detailed and you present the appreciation more in the presence of the here and now, people will feel that more. And especially there's a gender difference that I find, and it's just, I'm not a Mars and Venus type of guy, but I do see that in some of my work more. And that is an aspect of women like more details and nuances than men in appreciations. Yeah, some of the women are just looking to go, right? So, and I was taught, my wife taught me that, because I would say, "Oh, honey, you look good in that." And she would say, "Well, what looks good?" I'm like, "Well, your sweater." "Well, what about my sweater?" "I like the color." "Well, what do you like about the color?" And after she's trained me over 15 years, now I have a tendency to really focus on that and say, "Hey, honey, I love that green velvet sweater that you wear Friday night. Boy, when I look at you right now, I can feel a lot of warmth right here." And she's always, tilting the head and looking, waiting for a little more. With me and most men, we like it digital. Most men are digital. Women are more analog, right? An analog would be like a clock that ticks, really smooth around. Men are just like digital. We want that in just chunks. So what's really powerful for a man, one of the best compliments I know a man can give another man is to look him straight in the eye, take a breath and say, "You are a good man." And men can really feel that. We can really feel that essence of that short appreciation. Some of the women are like, "What? Is that it?" When a woman says something to the effect of, "When we were vacationing in Mexico and we were walking on the beach and you were wearing that blue cardigan sweater," most men are going, we're getting all glassy-eyed, thinking like, what do we got to do? What's the purpose here? Cut through it. And so I think that's important to also know, that aspect of it. The more details and the more nuances and body sensation. The challenge with men is that we think that maybe if I give them an appreciation, I'm going to get something out of it, right? See, a lot of men do that, ding, 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 that aspect of, oh, in order to get my woman interested in me, I need to appreciate. You have to be very careful about men. You have to be very careful about that, using appreciation to get something, especially sex, the aspect of that. I think it's the other way around when, like I said, when I'm doing the nuances, details, body sensation, I don't expect it, but there's an intimacy that occurs that I believe women feel seen and heard in a whole different way, when we're expressing that way. Because you women think a lot differently than us men. You're very cyclical in your thinking process. You're thinking and feeling at the same time. And we like to cut right through. That's why we try to fix things and tell you what you can do to fix it and do it wrong, as opposed to allow that process to take effect and go well-rounded to get to the point. That's one thing my wife is so good at, is I've learned to just sit back and lay back and watch her paint her expression, I call it. She's a wonderful artist in her outer life as she is in her life. So I sit back and just watch, like thinking, where in the heck is this going? And if I allow it, I just watch how she rounds that off. And I start understanding the aspect of, again, the details, the nuances, and the body sensation. I tell women, too, think of it as an appreciation with one breath. If you could take a breath and speak without taking more breaths, you're right on. So just give it, in that way. Usually, men like to be appreciated for our doing, what we do, especially, the aspect of providing. If we do provide, we we really like that. And again, when a woman appreciates a man for what he does, we're like dogs. We're going to do more of what you tell us that you like. Oh, I'll give you more of that. I'll give you more of that. And that's really interesting, is that when you appreciate somebody, for, especially a man, for what he does, he is actually going to give you more of that, of what you like. So that's also something to be focused and conscious of. I remember one client told me after, I actually told her partner they were doing heart chairs of appreciation, and she said, you know, how I really want to be appreciated is I want to be appreciated for also my intellect and my ability to walk in the world. I want to be appreciated for the energy of nurturing that I give you. I don't want to be treated like a teenager and just say I'm fun and I look good. So I would exactly feed that aspect of what you're saying. Is I think women, and those of you who can answer that, of course, is more of who you are than what it is that you do. And of course that varies. You know, some women that are walking in the world in a way that maybe there's a different balance of the typical aspect of the man being a provider. Maybe when the woman is providing for, that's what she wants. She may want the appreciation of what is she doing and what she's providing as an aspect of who they are. But you know, as that gets balanced, I will say that I love when I'm receiving appreciation of who I am. When I'm not getting a lot of appreciation, my first receiving appreciation is I want to be appreciated for what I do. And that's the first. It comes through what I do. And then the aspect of who I am. I think when you intentionally focus on appreciation, what happens is you end up seeing more to appreciate. If you just praise for praising, I think the blinders are kind of coming on that you see just specific things. But the intention to appreciate is abundance. That's the energy of appreciation. So then you start seeing so many other areas that build upon and snowball with the intention of appreciating, as opposed to one particular, let's say, non-conscious, unconscious praise that's not in the realm of intention. When it's in intention, just like if you're focusing on your day, the intent that you want to have for your day, starting off your day, the intention is I want to have good, clear communication with people. I want to be kind and compassionate. I want to be aware of my own triggers. When I'm putting out that intention, then I'm going to see that a lot more. But if all of a sudden I just focus on one aspect of something that I want to be aware of, the intention is not there, and I may not see how that plays in my life in many areas. Yeah. So the question was, you know, to encourage children to appreciate what parents are doing. You appreciate them. When you become the model, and you become the inspiration, and don't expect that it's going to happen just from the kids. But after a while, my experience is that it does, that they're inspired by it. Again, because kids do not listen to really what it is that we tell them to do. They watch and observe who we are, and they emulate what they see, or they take on what they see.